Folks, welcome into the Crossing Swords postgame show. I'm your host, Ty B, and we're going to be breaking down the Sabres 3-2 victory over the New York Rangers. I'll be joined by Wayne, Joe Conzi, and the loser. Sorry, Dom. It had to be, one of us or three of us, and it happens to be you tonight. Dwayne, start me off here. Sabres get a big 3-2 victory. They go with the Ralph Kruger soccer strategy of parking the bus in the third period, but get the win to improve to 3-1 on the season, and they keep themselves in the hunt in this East Division.
Yeah, that was one of the better games I think they've played all season. With the exception of the slow start there in their own end. You have to be happy with the result. You're always happy when you win. I just want to point out that my prediction for the score and the game-winning goal was correct. 3-2, Jack Eichel, game winner. Said it. With that being said, though, yeah, again, all four lines were rolling tonight. Olmark looked good. Hopefully, this is the start of good things with him. I still think they need to go get another goalie to have a good 1A, 1B system here in Buffalo. But, all four lines look good. The only guy I really need to really start get moving here and get going is Jeff Skinner. I know it's difficult down that fourth line, but he's getting his chances, and his numbers, analytically are good. It's just he can't bury it, just the way Jack hasn't been able to, up until tonight. He hasn't been able to bury the puck.
Yeah, and Dom, you got the dollar beer night sign in the background. I bet you wish it was a dollar beer night for yourself and the Rangers watching this one tonight, because it was 2 periods of almost domination from the Sabres. Took a nice lead there late in that first period, but lost that quickly there in the second. And then in the third period, the Sabres gave up a ton of chances, but the Rangers just unable to finish any.
Terrible. I shouldn't even say terrible. Again, as I said in the pregame, as expected. It's just this. If we go 2-6 against everybody in this division, I'll be happy. Like truthfully, this whole year is just like a tryout for them. The simple fact that they got crushed by the Sabres tonight. No disrespect by the Sabres, but as far as the score, the final score was 3-2. It looked like it was 5-2. Like, it was brutal, dude. It was terrible.
Absolutely. I think if you play that same style the Sabres did those first 2 periods for that last 20 minutes, they probably put up at least 2 to 3 more goals. Conzi, it's good to see them playing at least that well for 40 minutes. Do you like that strategy, parking the bus late?
No, I don't. But you know what? I'll take a win, only because wins are few and far between with this team over the last 2 years. So I'm pretty happy with it. But I'd like to add too on this is the biggest thing that I took away from tonight's game was the 600-pound gorilla that was removed from Jack Eichel's shoulders. You saw it after the goal, him skate over to the bench and him just heave this sigh of relief that was like, okay, I finally did it. The pressure was on. People were talking about his upper body injury, how this season would be, all this stuff. So it was just good to see that. And I saw the rest of the game. He was starting to pick it up a little bit. So, I'm excited to really see that from Eichel and see that from this team. Because let's face it, this team lives or dies by Jack Eichel in a sense. And that's not to say Taylor Hall and Sam Reinhart, but the body language, the way he's feeling about the squad, it trickles down. So it's good to see him playing good hockey again. And like Dwayne said, I need a little bit more from Jeff Skinner, whether it is on the fourth line, he's creating chances, but he's got to battle and find a way to put the puck in the net. It's only going to make them a better, stronger team.
And speaking of Dwayne, we got a question here from Cole Smith. We're on a hot 2-game win streak. The people want to know, do we win the cup?
Oh, one of my boys from the Buffalo Sports Idiots. I love it. Funny story. It's almost been exactly a year since the rant. I think it'll be in a couple days. Anniversary.
He says, "I think," like he doesn't know.
I know. Hey, keep an eye out for that, by the way, from Trainwreck Sports and Two Goalies One Mike, Crossing Swords podcast. But with that being said, it's funny that they the night I met all of you guys essentially at Trainwreck. At that game after the rant, same night I met these guys, and I've been in their group chat ever since. Have had a blast with those guys, and I appreciate all the banter back and forth we've had over the year since I've known them. Definitely have to get out and get a beer sometime soon up in Grand Island. With that being said, I'm not gonna say they're winning the cup.
Come on, Dwayne, we need to hear it.
if there was going to be a year they won the cup, it would be the year where I can't go fucking watch them win the cup. That would be the year, right? So yeah, they're going to win the cup year because I can't go see it.
All right, you heard it here, first on the Crossing Swords post-game show, folks. First, it's all the same darn thing right now. But the Sabres figuring things out right now, getting some wins, stringing points together here. Kanzi, we're looking at the standings here. There's a big sort of puddle here in the middle of these teams with like Pittsburgh, the Islanders, and a few other teams that you're going to be battling with. You're going to have to, keep getting more wins against some tough opponents. Where do you see this team in this divisional race right now?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the way I look at it. You've got your top tier teams and your bottom tier teams. Right now, the Sabres fall in that bottom tier teams, not because they're not playing good hockey. It's just you had an opportunity to gain ground against Philly. You can't take Washington into a shootout. You got to beat them in regulation. I love getting points, no doubt about it. But, in order for you to gain ground, you really got to dominate in this division. So right now, I like where they're at. I feel a lot better about this team than I did after the first 2 games of the season. But I can tell you that when you start to play the Pittsburghs and you start to play, Boston, you are really going to have to either split or dominate to win this division. So, I like where their head's at. I like the style they're playing. I'm hoping they hit stride and they all buy into Kruger's system by then when they're kind of in the thick of things. But right now I say they're a bottom tier team in the division.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers go to show that they can contend with any of these teams. You have the Devils playing really, I think, above where they're going to be most of the season. They got some early wins and some really good play from Mackenzie Blackwood. I think you're not going to see that as much now that he's out with the COVID, so I think that's going to pull them back a bit. I think you could be better than the Bruins, who are really aging. I think you can contend. The Capitals right now are leading the division with 9 points as everything sits right now. I think honestly, you can get yourself into a playoff spot. You only need to be in the top 4 here, Dwayne.
Yeah. And you know what? There isn't really a team out there that scares me right now. I know Boston's getting ready to finally get back Pasternak. So they're going to start rolling soon. But, the Devils, have won a game here and there. I know they just lost to the Flyers tonight, 5-3. But you know what? There isn't a team here that scares me. No one's really, taken control of the division yet and really, run away from the pack. So I really think this is up for grabs, especially with how close. I mean, I know we're still early in the season. Yeah, it's going to be close, but again, there hasn't been a team out there that's really like over the top scared me.
No one's really dominating in this division. I think that's the main thing here, Dom, that we see that any night, any team can win. You saw that especially highlighted in that first series between the Rangers and the Islanders, where the Islanders blew out the Rangers. It was a 4-0 opening night and then 5-0 in the reverse fixture. Sound like Rev Kruger soccer. It's weird. We got the back-to-back. We got the soccer connection and everything now. But you see this right now where any team can beat anyone. You can get hot and anyone can contend in this division, Dom.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too. Especially, I know we all talked about it. I went just in the group chat or whatever before the season even started. It's a short season like this with literally no training camp. Essentially, anything can happen. You just need to get hot at the right time, and you never know what's going to happen. Especially, forget injuries, but now you got COVID to mix in with that. So somebody goes down, team gets hot at the right time. Anything can happen. I got Dwayne talking. He's not afraid of anybody. And realistically, I don't see a reason why the Sabres can't compete with just about anybody in this division. Realistically, because, I mean, Boston's aging and that window's closing quick. Washington, I mean, if their Russians could, stay out of trouble, they should be fine. Like that team, Washington, when they're good, when they're good, they're good. I mean, the Isles, they score 2 goals and then hope you don't score anymore the rest of the game. That's their whole.
They have 9 goals and they've allowed 8 thus far. No other team, I think, has like less than 11. In the
considering the fact that they came out of the gate with 4. I mean, this is
opening night. Sorry, Dewey.
I know this is a side comment here, but I cannot stop looking at Kans's mustache and just how great it looks.
Luscious.
He literally, honest to God, he looks like the uncle at the family party.
Oh God!
Who's honestly up to no good. That's what he looks like.
Who's smoking kids' cigarettes?
Did you just give me a backhanded compliment? Hey, that's a great mustache, but you look like the creepy uncle at a family party.
No. Cons, he's like, hey, come here, put some of this in your drink. Don't tell your mother.
Yeah, don't tell anyone. Exactly. It's like
he's like, yeah, I know you're only 16, but you can have a couple of drinks.
You're the uncle that gets a talking to by the rest of the brothers and sisters.
Yeah, Joe,
Thanks,
we
man. I really appreciate it. Yes. Thank you so much. So this crew is so genuine, honest, and nice. I love it.
This is a good crew. What do you mean? This is vicious right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, this is exactly what you want in a post-game show. Shout out to everyone tuning in right now on the Twitter, the YouTube, the Twitch, wherever you are. Shout out. Make sure you get some questions in. Cole Smith said another thing. He's got another question for you. Why would we bench Cousins last game? Makes actually zero sense. I think it was just to give him a rest day and to get Casey some little bit of game tape out there. I think you're going to rotate some of these bench guys no matter what this year, just so they stay in shape just in case, because you don't want them having 0 games and then all of a sudden you're in an important game late in the season or something and they have 0 games on their list.
Here's the thing. I do agree with Cole just because the division is so tight. Speaking of the man, he's doing his post game right now. Dylan Cousins, 10 minutes and 12 seconds of ice time. Honestly, I don't even think that's enough. The power play goal, 3 shots, a plus rating. He was 3 for 4 of faceoffs. That's another thing too. Buffalo was an absolute powerhouse in the faceoff circle tonight. I think they're winning more than 70% of their faceoffs. But yeah, I agree. I think Dylan Cousins should not be the guy that gets sent to the taxi squad when you need to get one of your guys into the lineup just to get him some experience. I get it. It was predetermined. They said beforehand that this was the plan with Cousins all along. But, coming off his first goal of the season, the guy was playing with a lot of swagger. I think there were other guys you probably sit before you sat Dylan Cousins. In a condensed season, he's young. He's built the workhorse from Whitehorse. I think he's definitely can handle this condensed schedule. But I agree and I disagree. I'll put it that way. And plus, Casey Middlestad's a porky little turd. I don't care if he was on the ice for a goal.
Speaking of which,
hey, my man, I just followed you because your questions kill me. If you asked me if I would trade Jack Johnson for Casey Middlestat, I would take Jack Johnson. I would trade him for an injured Casey Middlestat right now. Let's be realistic. If you were like, you can trade Jack Johnson for Casey Middlestat, but he has to go directly to the AHL. Yes.
Middlestat thinks that Jack Johnson means banana pancakes because that's all he does is eat.
If somebody was like, if you can trade Jack Johnson to Buffalo, but instead of a player, all you're getting is a couple beef on Wicks and Pizza Lux.
What's a beef on Wick?
Do you mean Wick?
What's a beef on Wick?
Isn't it Wick? What's the difference?
Technically, it is Kimmelwick. But
like literally a letter. It's WECK, not WICK.
Listen, I got a Central New York accent. What do you want me to do here? What is this? I mean, what the hell? Yeah. We're coming in and we're being discriminatory. I thought this was a good time.
He has a physique of the kid Jack Johnson bullied in high school. Dude, this guy's legit. I love it.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
He hasn't been able to do a pull-up his entire life, which is unbelievable because when you're smaller and you have less weight on your body, it's usually easier. And since he's he's Casey Thicklestat, he's not going to be able to get better at doing.
It's just so disappointing because the kid's hands are unreal. And he has a little bit better than maybe an average-ish, maybe better average. He's not a very good skater. But again, really we can hate Casey Middlestat all we want. God knows I do. But in the same token,
I'm still hoping he's good.
Here's the thing: the organization really did him a disservice by rushing him into a situation he wasn't ready for. And I think his agent had a big thing to do with that too, trying to force him into signing his pro contract a lot earlier than he was ready for. He should have stayed in college for at least another season, if not 2. His body frame wasn't ready for professional hockey, AHL or NHL. It made no sense to me for him to make the jump from college to the pros as soon as he did.
Isn't he 22 still? Like he's still a young kid, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Comes into camp lighter when he needs to be heavier.
Comes into camp lighter.
All right, but let's talk a little bit about this upcoming game here. We're going to be playing again here Thursday night, another matchup here with these back-to-backs. Sabres Rangers yet again. Probably Olmark. We saw Obviously, Hutton got back out there a little bit for practice today. Still hasn't been fully cleared from that concussion. Everything else, Georgiev went today. Do you think we see a mix up there with Shesterkin?
No, I think we see Shesterkin. Quinn, like I said, I think in one of the intermission reports, whoever plays hard or scores or whatever is who he's going with, and he's probably going to just pull Georgie after that. I don't think we're going to see anybody but Shesterkin next game. I wouldn't be surprised if the lines are completely shaken up again because he's just zero patience.
Run out of options.
Yeah, he's right. Well, you're going to see. Watch, we're going to have Jack Johnson's be on the top pairing next game. That's what's going to happen. I can already tell.
Well, I think the Rangers are in a place where the Sabres kind of were a few years ago, where it's like you have this mix of some pieces that should be there long term and with some veterans and some young pieces. So you want to figure out which young pieces can fit with what veterans, and hopefully you can find a nice kind of meshing between the two where you don't have to have all the young guys together, all the old guys or whatever, to build some chemistry going forward. Not working very well right now, but hopefully they can figure some things out for Dami. But I think this should be another Sabres victory Thursday night.
I agree.
We'll see. You got our current veteran to lean on is Chris Kreider, who looks like he works for the KGB with that mustache. So, I mean, I don't know. It's brutal.
The KGB.
Literally, it looks like he walks in and just goes, looks at you. I don't know what to do with this guy. It's crazy.
Oh, it sounds like Dom's got a lot to say. Maybe it's about
got a lot to say.
Omar's right side being open on some rebounds. Yes, it was there. The defense was a little bit of late covering too, and they had some chances there, the Rangers, but were not able to finish those. I think you really have to shut a lot of those plays down. You can't give those easy attempts up to the Rangers, Kanzi.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot. Sorry, Dom has a lot to say. I think there's definitely a lot to say about that, and I think as we progress through the season as a team, I think you're going to see a lot of those opportunities that the Sabres leave in the defensive zone on the table. You're going to see those start to kind of dwindle because Matt Irwin played okay tonight. Like I don't think I saw Irwin that much out of position. Maybe I wasn't paying attention too much, but didn't hear his name a lot. So I think once you get that system going with the defensive units, you're going to see them cut down, like I say all the time, on angles. Make the game a little bit easier for the goaltender to keep the puck in front of them. But yeah, I just think this team right now just needs to get used to the system. I keep forgetting there was no training camp. It was like a solid training camp. So I'm sure there's a lot Kruger wanted to do that he wasn't able to do. So he probably figures, well, let me use this first stretch of the games to kind of feel my team out and see what we're doing. And we're starting to see those line combinations come together, the her line, and we're starting to see Stahl kind of take, his place on that second line with Cousins. So, I'm interested to see going down the stretch. And I think I've seen some growth from this team and, Ristolainen too. Like, what did we talk about all season with Ristolainen, how bad he played? He's playing some of the best hockey of his career this year. It's incredible to see his growth. So the sky's a limit for this team. The world is their oyster.
Yeah, hopefully, because I think that was the big question mark everyone had is if Cousins can step in and play a top six role, you can be a legitimately good team and really have a chance this year. And we're seeing that right now where Cousins is having some good play right now and sustained good play with Stahl and Olofsson. They had a great night today. And I like the speed of that line surrounding Stahl because obviously he's lost a step or two, but his hockey IQ is there. I think he's figuring it out. He was a few steps behind, a little slow early on, but I think a lot of the guys were around the entire league. You cut down on those little mistakes and where your hockey IQ is really going to carry you. And I think that's what's helping right now. Dwayne, I think the workhorse from Whitehorse has been an absolute gem thus far this season.
Absolutely, man. I think it's expected too, because we saw what he did at the World Junior Tournament, how he dominated at that level. The progress he made in the WHL up north the year before, how he dominated up there. It would just make sense that the next step for him would be, not dominate his rookie year. 2 goals.
Dominating your rookie year is tough. So speaking of which, we have a user question here from Dwayne S39. How many more games until Lafreniere finally scores a point? 1 point, Eddie.
Next game,
I think he scores tomorrow.
I really do. Thursday, yeah, I do too. Also, I think the key to victory for the Sabres from here on out is that Risto plays at least 25 minutes a game.
Speaking of Lafreniere, he had the worst Corsi in the entire game at 27.
How old is he?
Young.
Okay, well, there you go.
I got to be honest
19.
with you. I've been watching hockey my entire life. I still don't even know what the hell Corsi means. So to me, that doesn't – I don't even –
The Sabres got a lot of shots on net, and they got very little when Lafreniere was on the ice.
I don't even know how you can even contribute that to a person. But all right. I'll give it to you.
You don't contribute it to one person. It's more of how the team plays while you're on the ice.
All right, so Lafreniere is getting 2 points next game. You heard it here first.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Whoa!
2 points. You heard it here
Oh,
first.
no. Katz is getting called out now. He's got a Tinder date. Who knows? The Islanders probably lost a game or something. Probably couldn't score any goals. I have no idea.
Lou
Did they?
Lamoriello.
Lou Lamoriello,
Lou
the
Lemoncello.
most boring team in all of the NHL.
Yep, they
Bores
lost.
you to sleep.
Oh, they blew a late. Oh, they'd lost in like the last minute of the game.
Yeah,
Couldn't even
Komarov,
get a
right?
point. What a bunch of
Oh,
scrubs.
Lord. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Lost in the last 30 seconds.
Well, how's your mother?
Oh, you hate to see it, Katz. I'm glad your picture is your face, you face down on the floor. That's probably how you're watching this right now. Shout out, Katz. We'd love you. Can't wait until we're playing the Islanders so we can get you in here on some of these streams. Maybe I don't know. If the Islanders are playing Thursday, we can bring you in and have a little fun, get all the boys together, have a nice pregame with everyone, because I see you didn't even hit any chug buds of any
Couldn't
White
even
Claws.
come on the podcast, Cats. What a disgrace.
No.
You make me pay for your dinner when you're here in Buffalo, and then you dip out like a schmuck, like an absolute schmuck.
Yo, Dwayne
And
is on a
I
heater
can't come on
tonight.
the podcast with Dwayne S39. That's a joke.
Dwayne is a
Lord.
wagon tonight. He's a
Listen,
wagon.
no. Listen, I say anything negative like that about Katz, he cries and screams and complains. He gets yelled at by Dwayne. He acts like he's getting fucking jerked off or something. No, really, it's crazy. I don't understand it.
Yeah, this is where things are getting off the rails, so we're gonna wrap it up here.
I say facts.
Crossing
He gets offended.
towards
Dwayne
post-game.
arouses him. I don't-
Hey, again, by the way, guys, make sure you check us out tomorrow on Two Goalies, One Mic.
Mhm.
I will be joined by Dom from Real Talk. We'll be joined by a special guest, Adam Berman from Blue Shirt Banter. Excited to that. Talk some more Rangers, Sabres hockey. You know, see how he feels about the team this year, because you know how Dom Uriel feels about him right now. So keep an eye out for that, and keep an eye out for another special episode and featuring all three of the Buffalo Buttes goaltenders, Carly Jackson, Katie Flagg, and Kelsey Newman. So keep an eye out for that.
Newman.
All right, boys. That'll wrap it up for us. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, because that's going to be huge going forward. Periscope's going to be going away, so a lot of the live streaming and everything's going to be going through there. So make sure you're subscribing on YouTube. Follow us at Crosswords Pod on Twitter, at Two Goalies One Mic, at Real Talk REILE Talk on Twitter. They have a ton of great content coming forward, a bunch of great interviews coming forth, and make sure you click the link in our bio to go get these shirts. They are scary good t-shirts. The brand new train wreck design from Tyler Sleep. And that'll do it for us. For Ty B, myself, Dwayne, Kanzi, and Dom Real. Let's go Sabres.